guys, here I am once again at Riverview Grounds. I come here a lot, I admit that, because it's a wonderful place to take photographs. I've got trees and I've got architecture all in one place. I'm here today because I'm going to continue with my pushing test, but this time I'm going to be using Ilford's Delta 400. So I'm going to see if it's like HP5, better than HP5, worse than HP5. We'll find out. I love this walk up the path leading up to the South Lawn building, and that's where I'm going to hopefully conduct my test. So this time I'm going to be shooting the test with my Mamiya RB67 without a tripod. As most people who do pushing are hand holding their camera, and I'm certainly not going to be hand holding my 8x10. That would be awkward. Working without a tripod, I think, is going to be kind of like going back to my ice hockey days. You know, you're skating along, you've got a stick in your hands. You get used to that. And then when you go ice skating with your friends, you don't have a stick in your hands and you don't know what to do with them. It's kind of like that. So it's going to feel weird, I think. So from my understanding with pushing film, there's a couple of reasons that I can see. Maybe there's more. One of the reasons is people want to get a little bit more speed out of their film, maybe because they're working under maybe low light conditions, like at a concert or somewhere that's kind of dark. Or people they're trying to be creative, because I think the longer you develop film, you are increasing the film's contrast, and the longer you develop it, you can increase the grain size. So you get kind of a different look. So if anybody knows me well, they'll know that I like to give full exposure to especially for the shadow areas. It's really important to me, shadow areas. But I was pretty happy with the results I got with HP5. Enough yapping, let's get cracking. Very funny, not that kind of cracking. Both ways before you cross the street. I got a scene here that I want to photograph. It's actually quite lovely. Let's have a look at it. So we've got the red brick of the building, very fresh greenery. We've got a nice big tree, leaves that are just opening up. You can actually see into the windows, so I want to be able to maintain some detail inside the window. Also some detail in there. And it's not really that dark overall, but I still want to get this shot, and I'm not working with a tripod, so I'm going to see if I can get it first with shooting it at my usual EI of about 200, a handheld. But today's lighting is it's rather diffuse. It's quite cloudy out, although there are breaks in the sky. So I'm going to be taking a reading of shadow area that's important to me. Probably inside the window, we'll see. And then I'm going to check my lighter values. The wall right there. So hand holding, I want the shutter to be about a 60th of a second. So if I take a reading of that dark shadow in the corner, my base reading of that shadow is f5.6 at 15th of a second. Of course you wouldn't be using that reading. I have to adjust my meter for the shadow, so I would probably put it on zone 3, which is 2 stops less than my meter reading. So that would be 60th of a second at 5.6. So probably should have that vertical. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable leaning out with this unless it's around my neck. Focus. Take a picture. Okay, so this roll will be my EI 200, how I normally would shoot. And I'm just going to make a note on here that this is my 200. Now I'm going to put another magazine on and I'm going to shoot that one at 800. I'm just going to skip box speed. Here wall and eaves trough in the shot. It's quite close, maybe about 1.5 meters. That nice big tree, brick wall, that white bit, and it extends to about here. So the brightest area is going to be that wall there, and my darkest area will probably be in the brick wall there. It's kind of close between that area and the particle board there. Now the challenge for me is I want to have everything in focus from this wall and eaves trough all the way to the back, and I can only do that with a small aperture. Now I wouldn't worry about that if I had my camera on a tripod, but I'm not, I'm hand holding. So let's see if I can do it with 200, EI 200, and then we'll see if I can do it at 800 and 3200. Before I take the picture, I got to meter the scene. So I'm going to meter that shadow area I was talking about, and I've got 1/8 of a second at 5.6. Remember, I'm hand holding. I don't want to be hand holding at 1/8. So if I change that to a 60th, I'm at f2. So the lens on this camera starts at 5.6, so I can probably just squeeze one in there. So anyways, I've got that shadow area. So from that shadow area to the wall, the whitest part of the wall, we're looking at exactly 5-stop difference. So for me, that's normal. That's great. The tree here, it's only a 1/2 stop brighter than the brick wall. This brick wall that's really, really close to me, it's 3 stops on the outside. It's 3 1/3 stops. Zone 6 and a bit. So if I base my exposure on that shadow there, that wall there will fall on zone 8. Okay. This here is about zone 6 1/3. Let's look for something else. I think I already know what I want. My columns. These columns here. Okay, so I'm gonna first shoot it at ISO of 200. Got all these really dark bits of, it's kind of like moldy moss, and these dark areas here, so I'll probably take a reading of that. That most likely will be in the shot. So I got half second at 5.6, so let's put that on here. Half second, 5.6. If I go a quarter to 4.5, then I'll give 2 stops less, so that's 15th. So I got to shoot this one at a 15th of a second. So if I place this here on zone 3, the brightest part of the column, which is in these areas here, it's a 6-stop difference. So I'm going to put that black bit on zone 2. So 30th of a second at 4.5, which is a little bit better than a 15th. So that means, because I'm placing this now on zone 2, that's going to be on zone 8. So it's normal for me. That's normal. Maybe it's normal for me, not normal for other people. 200. Get a shot of this. So I've got half second at a 5.6 and a half, but I got to put that on a 60th. F1 and a half. So let's go down to there. That's a quarter of a second at f4 and a half. Now let's take a reading of the reflection on the door. It's 3 stops brighter. So if I put that on zone 3, that's, the door is 6. The white area up there is 3 stops. So so that white and the reflection on the door are the same, have the same luminance. Push for a different look, a creative kind of a look. Probably in here or in there. And then this is like brightest area. Okay, so I'll meter the armpit. That's about it. Next stop, dark room. See you guys there.